What's up, everybody? Welcome to Crafter Hours. I'm David Wilson, and we're back again with another live stream where we try to stumble through coding on a project and see how far we can make it in about, I don't know, 2.5 hours. And this stream is no exception because it's already set up for failure. Just kidding. So a little bit late this morning. I had to take my wife into the office, which is a very unusual occurrence for us, but hopefully it won't be happening very much longer. Not for me, but for her, because, I mean, who likes going into the office? So, yeah. Strangely, after the stream on Friday evening, I ended up coming down with some strange virus, and I'm still recovering from it. So if my voice sounds a little bit weird, it's just because I've once again been attacked by the viruses that small children bring home, because what can you do whenever you have to send your kids to school? So if you're in the chat, or if you're on the stream, let me know in the chat so I can greet you. I know there's a few people that are on the stream so far. Excuse me. So it seems that I've been doing a poor job of keeping the devlog notes up to date the last few times. What day was March 31st? Calendar. Did I not write anything for the last stream? Okay, so Monday was the 31st last week, and I didn't write any notes for what we did on Wednesday. Was it April 2nd? What was that? April 2nd. So what did we do? Got a half implemented discourse SSO auth flow working on the new system grabbers website. So we implemented the first part of the flow, but it didn't fully work. And I think I spent a little bit more time on it after the stream and made a little bit more progress, but it's still not working. So we're gonna have to diagnose that today. So I guess if I were to put the notes for today, today's the 7th, right? April 7, agenda. Figure out why we get login error when sending the initial SSO redirect to the forum. So there's just something wrong about the way that I'm constructing the request. We'll talk about the details of that in a minute. I found another reason why I was doing it wrong, but even though I fixed that, it still didn't work. So we'll have to look a little bit more closely at the documentation, which I failed to put somewhere. Discourse SSO, there it is, as an identity provider. Good. At least we were able to get that back up from history. What else did we do? I think we added some more things. If I was to go look at the System Crafters website code, I don't think I stashed that stuff. I wonder if I did stash it, actually. Let's see. I stashed something. GNU PG. Oh, did I stash that? Dear Env. I did write stuff. So I probably need to pull that down then. I need to pop the stash. I've got some stuff that we need in there. I need to use a work tree for working on this project because I have to use the same repo for the Friday streams, and I'm in 2 different branches, so I end up with problems because of that. Okay, let me, I'm gonna move. I'll just copy this, crafterhours.org.back. Fantastic, right? Then I'm going to revert this file. Control C XVU, I think. Let me make sure that I only did the changes that I just added. Okay, let me do that. Control XVU on that. Discard changes in the file. Yes. So I'm going to pop that stash. I don't know why it puts the stashes in the reverse order. That's pretty damn weird. All right, so we got these. Let's see. And what other files are we missing here? Routes. Did it pop the stash? Okay, good. It's there. I'm in the wrong channel. No wonder I didn't see anybody. Hello to Big Edie and Trev. Big Edie says, small children are the worst. Yeah, they're terrible. Trev says, yeah, that's why my mom tried to leave me at the Grand Canyon. That sounds like a plot for a 90s movie. And Big Edie says, moms are the worst too. I don't know about that. All right. Okay, so we had an agenda here. Excuse me. Continue. We never started doing it, did we? Joe Dirt. Okay, that makes sense. I knew I heard that somewhere before. I don't think I've seen Joe Dirt in probably at least 20 years. That's shocking to say. All right. Implement forum SSO auth half implemented. All right, cool. Let's just drop that here. That's what we did. Continue implementing, or finish, let's say. Finish forum SSO auth flow. That's today. Yeah, me either. TV moms are the worst. That's right. All right, so Monday, April 7th, 2025. All right, so SSO auth flow, session storage in DB, auth middleware for routes. Okay, that sounds right. We did some other things, though, I think. I think we moved some stuff into the Guile WebFrame project. I think we moved the logger. So the logger is in there now. I think we also moved context. Moved more shared stuff into... I'm doing this half for my own memory. Let's see, WebFrame. Did I check that in? Of course I didn't. Okay, so context, cookies. Did I do cookies last time? I don't like the logging commands in VC mode because I can't ever remember which one is the right one to do. Can you just give me the log of the damn repo? There we go. Thank you. 4.2 add WebFrame cookies. So that was then. So we did add the cookies then. All right. And then middleware routes. What is in routes? Nothing. And then URI. Okay. Cookies. Middleware. Context. What else did we say? And URI helpers. Okay. I think that was mainly it. Let's see, what else do we put in the repo here? So, got the env file. I probably should just check in this stuff. add environment file reader. Yeah, that was useful. Let me also go to the getignore file though, and make sure we don't check in. Don't check in tokens. .env. Yeah, there we go. Now we're gonna add .env to .getignore. Just got to make sure that's in there. What did we change into your locals? Default compile command now starts this server. Okay. What did we change in packages? GNU PG. We're not using DRM. I don't think I need that anymore. Add Guile gcrypt and Guile hashing libraries. Okay. What else we got here? I'm just trying to clean things up a little bit. Dev server script. Ah, yes. So I'm hard coding the site URL for running the dev server. Okay. So the login file, that's for SSO. Okay. Routes. Start server. Session token is subref tokens. Maybe we'll leave that for now because we're not fully finished with it yet. Session, get user session context. Yeah, this is completely half written. And then template, render page. Am I using render page in here? Render page. See ya, Big Edie. Okay, it's being used in routes. So we are using it for now. That's something that will probably need to be abstracted to. A way to render a page using SXML. But it's a little bit hard-coded at the moment, so I'm trying not to generalize until the shared parts of it make more sense. All right. So I think that's it. We're at a good starting point now. Let me check the Crafter Hours log notes here. All right, so yes, today we're going to try to finish the forum SSO flow. Solve the login error issue. Session storage in DB, that would require setting up a schema also. Which, I don't know, that's kind of lower priority. I don't really know that we need to have session storage in DB just yet, because having it be in memory is okay. The worst that could happen is I redeploy the server and the user has a login again, which is not a big problem. So, not high priority. In fact, I'll put that at the bottom. The other things are higher priority because they are necessary for the whole thing, like auth middleware and also user display on the site, like so that you know that you're logged in, basically. That part's relatively easy. All right, so where was I when I started up on this last time? So the meat of this whole situation, of this whole implementation, let's say, is the login handler. So what we're supposed to do, in fact, let me start up the server so that you can see what we're doing. So compile, control XPC. Now, why is it that it doesn't actually pick up the compile command? I need to run normal mode or something? I should have already done it. Oh, you know, it's... Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. So, control XPC. Yes, there we go. Just waiting for it to decide to wake up. All right, so it's listening. Do we got any errors? No. errors, which is a good sign. And now that it's running, at least, we should be able to try the login flow again, just to sort of see where we're at. So if I were to use localhost 8080/login, what it does is it synthesizes, wrong argument in position 1. So I got some kind of little issue here. We'll have to see what that's all about, but that should not be a big issue. Let's see, string to UTF-8, false. So it appears that something that I'm doing in login handler, string to UTF-8, UF8, right there. Is it that one? Must be. Discourse SSO secret. I wonder if it's not loading the in file. So, because I think if it was, this wouldn't be false. So discourse SSO secret is false currently. I'm going to have to hide my screen for a second just so I can double check the contents of that file and make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be, because something's not right. So give me 1 second. I'm just hiding the screen for a moment so I can do this. So let's see, env file should be there. I'm gonna use geyser connect to the local REPL, and then I'm gonna run the get env. Yeah, that's false. I wonder when. Yes, okay. I think that's the problem. The first problem is that I'm not actually calling that function, which I know you can't see right now. Just give me a second. Read in file path. I think I need to do that when the server starts up. So let me just do this so I can double check. Server handler, start server, read in file .env. And I need to pull in use module se site env. Okay. Then read in what? Read. Oh, I didn't even make it public. There we go. There we go. And then if I go back to login and do the same thing. Okay. So read only mode. Cool. All right, let me put the screen back up. Should load in a second. Okay. So, what are you doing? I think I clicked the link. That's what the problem was. So what I'll do is restart the server now that I know that this works. Compilation. I'm gonna kill this and restart it. And I think it should be able to read that token this time when it starts the server up. All right, so it's loaded, and let's load the login page. It's complaining again. There's no way, come on. It didn't complain before that the in file didn't get loaded. Oh, same problem. Oh, let's see. I think the problem is that I'm calling. Okay, I've got this set here. Maybe I should just always call getenv, because I'm calling it when the module gets loaded up. But I think the ordering of things is not good. The environment variable is not being set at the time that it's being before it's being read. Okay, so it needs to be done first. So in the login handler, I probably should just be reading it. So SSO secret. And that will probably help. So if I take that out and then reeval the login handler, oops, and let's rerun the geyser connect. Reeval that, reload the page. Now what? You gotta be kidding. Come on now. Oh. I didn't change the variable. I'm surprised. Oh, yeah. Okay. It does make sense. SSO secret. Brain is not firing on all cylinders today. There we go. Redirecting the forum login. Cool. So that's what the flow is supposed to do. You go to this login link. You're on the System Crafter's website. You click the login link. It automatically redirects you to the forum. As you can see, it goes to forum.systemcrafters.net. And then it has a specific URL format that it's looking for. Going to /session/SSO provider. You're supposed to compute two things as parameters to that, which is the SSO token, I guess. Not really token, I guess. It's sort of like a message. I don't know. What do they call it? Well, the whole process is you generate a random nonce, which is kind of like a long string or number that should only be known by you. You generate a nonce that you know. And then you save it so it can be verified whenever the request comes back. Then you create a new payload with a nonce and a return URL. So it's basically a string with the nonce value. It's in query parameter format. So nonce equals the nonce value and return SSO URL equals the URL. Now, what we are creating for that is, let me see. May have to print these out again. We're just generating a large number and we're putting the nonce in the string. The return SSO URL is the site URL, which should be the localhost URL format /login. And then we're also giving it a custom redirect to send back to. Maybe I should take that custom redirect part out though, because that could be causing part of the problem. Not exactly sure why I'm doing it like that, but you know, that's what I was doing in the previous implementation. So for those of you who don't know, I'm porting this, excuse me, I'm porting this over from a JavaScript implementation that I had written for the current System Crafters Guild website. So I have written this before. I know that it works. It's just that I'm rewriting it now in Scheme, so things can be a little bit more complicated because of that. So maybe I'll take the come on. I'll take the custom redirect part out for now, just in case that causes a problem somehow, but it definitely works when you do it the right way. So I kind of want to look at the payload string again. So if I go here, I can say that the log info payload, hello status bar. Then I'll write out payload, just to make sure that we know what we're looking at. So, payload and return SSO URL. So payload, so nonce and return SSO URL is what we should be seeing. So if I were to reeval this function and then go do the login again, payload nonce and return SSO URL is localhost 8080 login. Okay, so that looks like what I expect it to be. So next step. The host of a return URL must match against the domain pattern you use when configuring Discourse Connect provider secrets. So I think it does. I can verify that by going to the forum. And then let's see. Discourse Connect. No. SSO. No. Login. Yes, that's definitely a bot. All right, Discourse Connect secrets. Localhost. Does the port need to be a part of it though? List of domain secret pairs that are using Discourse Connect. Make sure Discourse Connect secret is blah blah blah. I don't know if that's needed, but I'll put it there anyway, just in case. So it's localhost 8080. This is what we saw here. Localhost 8080 login. That's right? Like if I go back to where I started. Yeah, login. Okay. Okay, next step is base64 encode the above raw payload. Let's call this the base64 payload. Okay, so I'm supposed to base64 encode it. Encoded payload. Base64 encode payload. Okay, so I'm base64 encoding the payload string, which is the not string that we saw before. So you're supposed to base64 encode it, and then you're supposed to URL encode the base64 payload, which is what I'm doing here. I'm using URI encode to URL encode the base64 payload. All right. Now, once you have that URL encoded payload, that's the first part of the query. That's SSO equals URL encoded payload. The URL encoded, base64 encoded string that they expect you to have. Then you're supposed to generate an HMAC SHA-256 signature from the payload using the provider's secret that you created as the key, and then create a lowercase hex string from this. So the last time we were working on this, I did not see the hex string part. I got the hex string part added after the stream. Byte vector to hex string. So I looked up how to do this. And if you convert something to a byte vector, which we have here as a result of the HMAC SHA-256. So the Guile hashing library gives you an HMAC SHA-256 function where you pass in the secret and the payload to encode. Now, I wonder if this function is doing something weird. Like, it takes an arbitrary number of arguments, and I don't really know how it deals with that. Because you're basically assuming that it's a list of things that's going to be included. So I don't know if it's formatting things incorrectly somehow. I need maybe to look at that as a possible cause of issues. But the point is, we're supposed to be getting the HMAC SHA-256 signature of the payload, the encoded payload, which is the URI encoded payload, using the SSO secret that we've loaded, which it should be correct. And then we're getting a byte vector out of that, which is just a vector of bytes. And then we're converting that byte vector into a hex string. So here we have a function where we're converting the byte vector into a list of 8-bit unsigned integers, and then formatting those with the formats function to put them in hex string format, okay? So that's supposed to do the right thing. It's supposed to put that byte vector into hex format. So for each byte, it's gonna write out the hex code for each byte in order. We're using string join because we're using map to turn a list of integers into formatted strings for hex, so that we're just basically joining those together as one whole string. And by default, they are lowercase. The way that they get formatted is lowercase. So I don't need to worry about lowercasing it myself. It's already lowercase. So then the hex signature now becomes part of the URL, so the sig part of the URL. But clearly it's not working because when we do the redirect, it comes back with a login error with no further information about what the hell is happening, which is great. I just love it when that happens. 422. Let's see. Any other header that gives us a clue about what's going on here? This thing is not scrolling very easily. Let's see. Got a funky cookie here. Yeah, it's like my forum session cookie. I'm gonna have to re-log in after this. Indianness issue? I don't know, maybe? Is it possible? Doesn't seem like it. Try dissecting the URL. So this doesn't look URL encoded to me, does it to you? Like it's got equal signs in it. Why has it got equal signs in it? That may be part of the problem. So encoded payload. All right, I don't know if it's decoding it for me so I can read it, but definitely doesn't seem right. So let me reeval this, and then we're gonna go back and run it again. Login. Yeah, so it is URL encoded. You can see it here at the end. It's padding at the end, which you might need to remove. I don't know. They don't mention it. Let me see what else I did in my JavaScript implementation. Let's see, source, functions, login. Okay, so HMAC signature, text encoder. So we're encoding the key first. So hold on. Am I base 64 encoding? Encoder.encode. Oh, hold on a second. Wait. So I wonder if the secret string to UTF-8. Okay, so I've already done that, string to UTF-8. I think we're gonna have to look at guile hashing again. To see what it actually expects. I mean, clearly it doesn't complain, so it must accept it somehow, but I'm kind of wondering what it wants secret to be. So, okay, byte vector length secret. Hash secret. So here, go to SHA-2. So make SHA-256, make SHA-2 initial hash 56. Where is it? Make HMAC. And which one is the hash? So make HMAC block length hash. So SHA-256. SHA-2 make SHA-256. State make, yeah, it looks like it needs a byte vector. But why didn't it complain? So for the secret, Guile string to byte vector. Yeah. So string to UTF-8. Let's see. Use RNRS byte vector. I think that's right, isn't it? Byte vectors. Okay, maybe it is a byte vector already. So if it is a byte vector, then the secret is okay. All right, so text encoder, encode text, key data. So then we're creating a crypto key with the key HMAC SHA-256 for signing. Then we encode the base 64 payload that's being sent in. Make that into a byte vector. Then we sign it. Then we convert it to a hex string. So we're basically doing the same thing. We're just going through the array that gets produced from the signature itself that's being created here. And then for each character, we're converting it to a hex string and then padding it with a 0 if the string is less than 2 characters for each byte. All right. So next is where we call HMAC signature. So encode and sign. So here we have the nonce and the return SSO URL. Says, can we get some working values from the JavaScript function for testing, just some fake payloads? Maybe, yeah. We may have to resort to that. Generate a simple HTML page with a redirect to Discourse SSO endpoint. Yeah, so encode and sign payload, that's what matters. And the nonce is a random UUID with hyphens taken out. Interesting. So I'm not doing anything special to that. Look at that. So the payload, I'm passing it directly into encode and sign payload. So payload B to A. Creates a base 64 encoded string from a binary string in which each character in the string is treated as a byte of binary data. So the payload string is a string. So we are base 64 encoding it. Then we're URI encoding it the same way. Let's just double check that in the scheme code again. Payload, base 64 encode payload, URI encode. Okay. So base 64 encode, does it do anything else? Why doesn't it give me a pop-up hint? Base 64 code helper. Anyway. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to run to guild.systemscripters.net. I'm going to click login. It was so fast that we didn't see it. And there's not a way to log out, I think. I probably didn't add that. And we don't have... Okay, maybe I can do... Should have had the network tab open when I did that. Maybe if I just do login again. Check this out. Maybe the site's stupid enough that... okay, great. The site is stupid enough that I can do that. Delete the cookie? Yeah, that's a good point, Trev. There's still a session that gets stored internally. Why did it do that? Hello? Oh, because of the redirect, it totally like cleared out the network tab. Yeah, let's see. If I could catch it in the act, it'd be nice. But as you can see, I'm not doing anything special to like trim the padding on the base64 encoded string. I imagine that a base64 decoder can deal with the padding just fine, so that's probably not a problem. So the question, I guess, remains, what about this last part is causing trouble? Is a signature wrong somehow? If you look at the actual token for the signature that we were doing on the string, it is a hex string. That's a long hex string. Seems kind of long though, but maybe that's intended. This is SHA-256 converted to hex. SHA-256 bytes converted to hex. Yeah, so the thing that I wasn't sure about is like, what does it do with the multiple values? Try limiting key length. Possibly. Let me go back and check the Guile hashing code again. Block length. So for the HMAC stuff, secret and data. What's data being done with here? For each, I see. So for everything in data, apparently it's updating the state of the signature with the data. And I think that means that if there's only one parameter for data, then it treats it as if it was just that one value. So I don't think that it's anything special there. I don't think that's, there shouldn't be a problem there unless there's something wrong with this algorithm. I kind of doubt. I mean, it could always be wrong. I don't know. I don't know how commonly this library is used, but. Got to get parity with JavaScript. You mean like knowing what the output of the JavaScript code is? Yeah, I know, right? It's not quite as easy to test the JavaScript code because it's all Cloudflare function stuff. It is possible to run Cloudflare functions locally. This requires a tool called Wrangler. I'm not sure if I have that set up on this machine. Let me go into... Status bar says, I can't wait until JavaScript gets sunsetted. That is highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. Projects, sites, system crafters, guild. All right, so all the stuff is kind of installed here. It should be runnable, I think. npx Wrangler. I don't have any Node.js stuff installed. Node. Yeah, so Nix. Nix packages, Node. I usually install Node from Nix because what Geeks has is often extremely behind. Let's just see what Geeks has. I can see the sun out of my window is washing out the screen. I might have to fix that in a second. All right, so for Node, it's 22. Wow. That's acceptable. All right, so how about this? Geeks shell Node. npx Wrangler. I wonder if that's enough, or if I need to install npm also. Nope. That's a good point, Trev. Actually, a great point. And DC Unit says, the Google search says something. I was hoping to catch up before the stream started. There is... He's posting a link to some instructions. This is actually... I haven't seen this before. I see. Okay. Hashing the SSO payload with your SSO secret. You know, the nice thing would be if it would tell us what's wrong. I guess it would be a security vector, a threat vector, if it did tell us what's wrong. Because it could be a configuration issue on my part. No, it's a good little document there. Okay. So Trev's idea is actually good. Not to say that Trev doesn't have good ideas. I'm just saying that in this case, I think I will take his suggestion, which is to try to run this code by itself locally. Excuse me. So, I mean, we might have to do the whole thing, but does it have anything to do with not including libraries? No, I don't think so. Dash E, env, environment used for operations, selecting .env and env dev vars files. Okay. Do I have a .env here? ls? I don't think so. I had to make one up. So copy system crafters .env here. LSAL. God. Yeah, I'm not gonna cat that. So I never kept the commands needed to do a local test run, I think. So Wrangler dev, start a local server for deploying your developing your worker. All right, Wrangler dev. Missing entry point to worker script or assets directory. Source index.ts, Wrangler JSON C file. Stuff has probably changed since the last time I worked on this code, so who knows. Do I have an index file? It's supposed to realize from the functions directory, I think. That's annoying. All right, so Cloudflare functions Wrangler. Trev says Trev is a certified idiot. I don't think so, buddy. Yeah, I did see one problem with that one. DC unit. Dev. Excuse me. So I need a config file. Why do I need an index file? Okay. I shouldn't need one. I've never needed one. All right, so that's not gonna work. Let's see. So we can just run it as a normal JavaScript script. Let's see, let me just double check everything we got here. There is some stuff that is Cloudflare specific, like this response stuff. So if I can just rip out only the stuff that's for generating the nonce and the payload. I can just sort of like write all that out and see what the output is. Okay, let's just try that. I'm gonna just try to run it with Node on a very simple script. So Node async top level. I think that's supposed to be doable now, right? 2 years ago. Okay. Supposed to be doable now. So I'm going to go into the systemcrafters.net site folder. I'm going to drop this code in, and then all that should be okay. On request, don't need all that. Don't need that. All right, this is where we need it. We don't need the nonce. Actually, that's all the verification stuff. There we go. Okay, so here we go. Console.log. Nonce. Payload. And I'll have to change to get site URL. In fact, let's just do that right here. HTTP : localhost 8080/login. We're going to take out the custom redirect thing. We want it to be as close as possible to what we're generating from the Guile code. Chris says we may not even need to do that in our docs. I found reference data. Yeah. So, is that not the page we're looking at? Different. 2014. Oh. Wait. They're URL encoding the URL. Is that part of the problem? Because we didn't do that? I didn't do it here either, did I? Does it matter? Excuse me. Oh, wait a second. Not going well. Gotta love it. Real world example section, Trev says. For the domain, for the discourse connect URL. Okay. That's a great point, actually. Cool. That's great. Perfect. So that's what we can do. We can actually try to write this out in the scheme code. Let's see. Can I maybe move this up into a function that can make it more testable? That would be useful. Encode login west. Site URL. Maybe don't even need that. I mean, what information do we really need? I mean, my goal would be to just return a const pair with the SSO and SIG values. So if we were to move the stuff in here, it's me. Then what I'll do is just take this whole let block, drop that right here, go back to the top. All right, so nonce payload, SSO secret. We're gonna make it be this this test string. Actually, maybe we could do that. SSO secret. We want to hard code the nonce too. Nonce is generated. User attempt to log in. Nonce is generated. So they're giving us nonce to try. Raw payload is generated. Okay. They don't have the what was the other part that's supposed to go on this? Return SSO URL. They didn't put that on here. Okay, we'll have to do it without it for now. So the nonce we're going to use. I'm going to drop this here so I have it later. The nonce we're going to use is the one that they have an example. Then raw payload is generated, which if we take this part out and take this part out, then we should just get the nonce string. Then we encode the payload. And then we're gonna drop the signature by using, yeah, it's payload sig. Because it should be a hex string by that point. This part goes, wait. Then we return const pair, or values even, but I'm just gonna use a const pair of coded payload and payload sig. Okay, then over in the REPL, we're gonna run okay, so it's not exported. This is SC site login. All right, so nonce, so with CB encoded BM9, yeah, BM9UY, it ends in BJMGI, and that is URL encoded, so it's got the %3D at the end. Payload is base64 encoded, payload is URL encoded. So it is, that part is right up until this point. HMAC SHA-256, all right, the signature is wrong. Something is wrong about the signature. So, question is why? What are we doing wrong with the library? What if I don't do this? UTF-8, excuse me. I think UTF-8 the string is not going to work. Yeah, UTF-8 the string. Yeah, that's just gonna write out as a string. But that won't work because it's it's plain bytes. Where's the part where you add, excuse me, discourse connect secret as a key in HMAC? It's right here. So we're calling HMAC SHA-256 with the SSO secret, which is a string that we're converting to UTF-8 bytes. And then the so am I supposed to be doing the wait, hold on. Can't be that, can it? What's your problem? Oh, yeah, I took this out. EF. Still not the same. So I wondered if I needed to not do the URL encoding before signing, but apparently it's still the same. I mean, sorry, it's not the same. It's still wrong in the end. If I change this again, then the signature is C98. Whenever what we're looking for is 1CE. Let's see. Is there like an online HMAC 56? There we go. Because we got to see if there's something wrong here. Enter plain text compute hash. The plain text is okay. Enter the secret key. So I got a feeling something is wrong. That's not right. Okay. X. C98. Which is actually what I'm getting, isn't it? Yeah, C98. So what's the deal? Did I copy the secret wrong? No. D83 ends in CE14. The secret they're saying here is this. I'm putting the same secret in as the secret that's being given to this function. SSO secret. It's not being set anywhere else from the environment variable. So that's being set here. The secret is being put in. The encoded payload is being put in. Payload is URL encoded. BM9 ends with %3D. BM9 %3D. Okay, so the encoded string is correct. So the token and the encoded string is correct. The secret and the encoded string is correct. So why is it that the result that I get from the code and the result that comes from this other website are the same, and the example is different? So I think maybe I do need to try the JavaScript version again too, because something ain't right. Okay, so let's do it here. Why isn't it like hex string to byte vector? Because it's supposed to be a hex string. Because the result of the signature is a byte vector. All right, so nonce in this case is going to be hard-coded. The HMAC, no, this is the output, dude. Look, so we're passing in the SSO secret as an array of, or as a byte vector. So we're turning the string for the secret into bytes. We're doing the same thing for the payload. The encoded payload, we're turning it into bytes. We're running it through the signing function. And then we're turning that SHA-256, which, hold on a second. What is it then? Am I doing something really dumb? I wouldn't put it past me. Let's try it one more time. Yeah, so that is a, oh, I need to get this out. Okay, it's some kind of result type. SHA state. So I need to turn that into a byte vector. Right, okay, so it's a state value. BM9. Yeah, so I have to turn it into a byte vector to start with. So I've got a byte vector. And then I turn that byte vector into a hex string. That makes sense? C98 still. Which is not what they have. Okay. So let's go back. Where do I find the HMAC 256 function? You mean in the Guile library? It's in Guile hashing. And it's kind of split up into different sections. There's a lot of generalization going on in this library. If you look at the hmac.sem function, it defines this make HMAC, which is not really that helpful. But then there's the SHA2.sem file that has a whole bunch of stuff in it. And at the very bottom, it defines HMAC SHA256 as a result of calling make HMAC. As a result of calling make HMAC. Now, it's curious to me that they have SHA256 the byte vector here when I have to call it myself. Why is it that it can't do that for me? SHA256. The string. Maybe I should do this. What is this SHA256 a string? Still C98. Okay, so I can get rid of my little fancy function, I think. Yeah, still C98. So SHA256. Make HMAC. It's not a syntax, is it? No, it's a function. There must be a syntax in here. Yeah, syntax case. Where's it happening? Oh, is it a hyphen? All right. SHA2 to byte vector. Oh boy. Okay, so back to the JavaScript file. I want to see what JavaScript says about this. The nonce is going to be the test value that is given. This is the payload. Nonce payload. I want to take this text and break that. Move it down. So encode inside payload. I want to take this stuff out too. Okay, so base64 payload, encoded payload. SSO is the encoded payload. And the signature is SIG. Question is, will this code actually run? Back in our each shell. We drop back to systemcrafters.net. Source, Geeks shell node login-test.js. Only valid in async functions and at the top levels of bodies. Okay. That's fine. Async test signature. We're just going to wrap this in an async function. Indent that. Actually, we're going to take this in there too. Hell. I never closed out that string. We're just going to call it without awaiting. Clearly, it's been a little while since I wrote some JavaScript. There we go. Auth key is not defined. Auth key. Okay, yeah, there we go. Let's change this to the secret. Huh. 1 CE. 1 CE. So JavaScript is giving us a different result. We start off with the nonce. We add the payload, nonce equals CB. Right? Then base64 encoded is BM9. Then the URL encoded version has %3d at the end. Okay. Then with the signature, we get the same signature that discourse comes up with. So we've got conflicting results, and I'm not sure why. String. Yeah, so is that what I'm doing wrong? Is that this is actually a hex string input that I need to convert correctly, so I need to digest that into bytes from hex. No, Trev, I think that you've uncovered my ignorance here. I think that's what the problem is. I think this actually is a hex string, and doing what I did is not the right result. So they don't actually say that, though. I mean, this looks like hex, doesn't it? The secret that I generated is not hex. If they treat it as hex, yes, sig will be hex encoded. That's all they say is the signature that you make will be hex encoded. They don't say anything about the key that's coming in. So you're talking about the string to UTF-8 part? Thing is that the SSO secret could be anything. Where's the original docs? Stop that. Yeah, it just says add a secret string. Now, where are we in the stuff here? A list of domain secret pairs that are using Discourse Connect. Make sure Discourse Connect secret is 10 characters or longer. Wildcard symbol can be used. It doesn't say anything about it needing to be a hex string. So we're not necessarily supposed to treat it as a hex string. Now the question is, what is JavaScript doing when I give it the same key string, this key string right here, and I call it encoder.encode. It's just taking that string and turning it into bytes. Would it not be doing the exact same thing? Because we had looked that up. Text encoder. Text encoder interface takes a stream of code points as input and emits a stream of UTF-8 bytes. So that's string to UTF-8. Give it the auth key in a string form, UTF-8 string, and it turns it into bytes. Key data is bytes. So it's importing that key, HMAC 256. Let's see. JavaScript crypto import key. What are the parameters for that? Format key data algorithm extractable. Key usages. Okay, I don't know what extractable means. Okay, to export the key. Yeah, we really don't care about that. Trez says, I just think that we need to take the hex string, key, and payload and convert it to bytes. Where? Hey, Fikri. Fikri says, you're implementing Discourse SSO? Yeah. Purple G says, I can't find what you're referring to. The link you sent only mentions UTF-8 once. I'm assuming that string to UTF-8 just converts the in-memory representation of a string to UTF-8 representation. Those two things aren't always the same. Well, yeah, but the strange thing is that it seems that based on the documentation of text encoder in JavaScript, that sounds to me like it takes a stream of code points. I don't know what stream means in this case. I think a string, is also a stream of code points as input and emits a stream of UTF-8 bytes. So it's just a string. Let's see, encode takes a string as input and returns an uint8 array containing UTF-8 encoded text. So it sounds like, yes, this is the live channel. I mean, you're in the right place, Purple G. Yeah, text encoder. So it just takes whatever string that's in there and then turns it into bytes. And that's what, let's see. This is a sample paragraph. It takes this text. Let's go into the REPL. '84, 104, 105, 115, 32, 105, 150, 115. I mean, it's the same. It's the same output. So text encoder.encode is giving an array of bytes back, and same thing for string to UTF-8. It's just a vector of bytes. So that should be the same. So we take the key string that we created, and which is being specified in this example here. Where was it? Right here, the Discourse Connect secret. Turn that into a vector of bytes based on the string. And then we use that to sign the payload. And then whatever comes back, we turn it into a hex string. I guess the question is, do the bytes look the same? So let's see, new uint8 array signature. How about this? All right, so that's that signature array. Go to the console. No, eat. Run this one more time. Signature array. Great. We can take a look at that. And then also for login to SEM, we can run the same HMAC 256. And we're going to do a SHA-256 to byte vector here. Let's go over to the REPL, and then we're going to run it again. Did I eval that? Why is it not writing it? What is the reload module? Unbound variable. What? Oh, I put it in the wrong place. What's up, Trev? Okay, let's do that again. Did I run that? Okay. Don't use the URL encoded payload in HMAC. Really? Sig array 201. But I think I'm doing it in the JavaScript. Am I not? Let's see. Oh, you're right. Look at that. So it should have... We tried that once before and it didn't do anything. All right, let me take a look then. HMAC, encoded payload. You know what? I never did actually use... Maybe you're right. Maybe that's all it is. We can take the sig array out now. I think that we're going to see this working. Unbalanced parentheses. Where? One CE. Okay. Thanks, Trev. I think that I had, excuse me, missed one important step while going through that. Now that we've verified that we can get a consistent key or a signature, now we can move back to using our own nonce and using the correct form of the request. So I'm just going to take this part out because I don't want this custom redirect part yet. Yes, it was very... This is the thing that sucks about this whole process is that it's not really giving you a lot of clues, and the documentation is not really a specification. It's very unclear. The steps are unclear. I feel like I had the same problem the last time I tried to implement this in JavaScript, and I just kind of figured it out. Not nice. Okay, so the payload is going to be that. Let me just... where are we actually using the URL encoded version? In the URL. So I'll take that out. Or yeah, I know, right? To answer Fikri's question, no, we're not supposed to use the URL encoded version of the payload in the HMAC signature. All right, so we've got the base64 payload. We'll say base64 payload here. And base64 payload. And then get rid of these. What do I have too many parens on? That. Okay, now that's good. And login handler, I want to get rid of all the code that I had written inside of this. So let's just delete all this stuff here. Keep hitting the wrong keys. Okay. Okay, so SSO to verify. Probably need to do a match on encode login request. And that's going to be on SSO secret. And And this is going to be payload.sig. And here we're going to say URI encode payload. We're going to encode it at this location because we're only encoding it to put it inside of the URL. Okay, that's the important thing. And then sig. Let's just say payload sig. Enough. Need one more to close it off. All right, got the whole function. All right, so now that seems relatively clean. I think this is also good to go. And this is no longer needed. All right, so now we can go back and try to log in again. Login error. Okay, so what could I have done wrong? I guess I shouldn't have taken all my log statements out. Premature. Let's see. Log info payload. And then sig. I guess we already see that, so what's the point? So we're encoding, excuse me, we're encoding the payload as part of the still login error. Did I set up anything wrong over here? Take that part off. I don't know if the port matters, if it ever mattered. Maybe I should check the intermediate stuff as well. So I'll check log info payload. Nonce. Turn SSO URL, localhost 8080 login. Okay. All right. I guess now the question would be, what will the JavaScript code give me for the same inputs as we're doing now? Just to make sure. I guess we could try to run a verification on that just to see. So, all right, give me 2 minutes. We'll come back and we'll take a look at that and see if we can make sure that nothing else is going wrong here. All right. So I guess the question is, where is the failure coming from? We've got the base64 payload being used now for computing the signature. We've got SSO secret coming in from the environment variable we're supposed to. Trying to think of like the right way to test this. We can obviously test the output of the JavaScript code in comparison, but we just sort of did that, and I don't really know what we'll learn from it. It would be any different. It's SSO values encoded. Yeah, if you go down here, you'll see that when I get the result back from encode login request with the SSO secret, when I format the string to put it together as a HTML page with a redirect, I use URI encode on payload to put it into the SSO query parameter. So that part is okay. Yeah, it seems right. It seems right, but it still doesn't work. Let's just, I feel like I should probably restart the server just in case. One thing I did notice is that it didn't pick up the env file correctly. So let's try this one more time. Oh, okay. That time it actually did pick up the env file. Still, whoa. Oh, wait, hold on. It's working. It's working because not found is not a problem. It returned the whole SSO token back. So it did work. I think. What? Whoa. Yeah, it did work. And I think the reason why it says 404 is because my route handler text is too restrictive. Where is that? Routes. I'm looking for a login. And because there's a split, I think that it probably adds a second item to the list. So let me... guile string split. Is there a way to omit empties? What? Character predicate. Empty substring between separated characters will result in an empty string in the result list. It was not the query param. It's definitely not the query param because I'm only looking at the path. But I think it's the fact that there is a trailing slash on what comes back. Is that my fault? Did I do that? And I must have sent that as the redirect URL. Let me fix that. So log into SCM. Where did I put it? Yeah, that's me being an idiot. That's all I can say about that. Okay, reeval. And go back here. And then run login again. It still put the thing on there? That can't be right. Come on. It did it, though. Look at it. You son of a... we're in... Geyser. No. Geyser. Control-C, Control-Z. M. Yeah, something, it may have gotten stuck. Let me think about this for a second. So we're gonna go into SE site and type login. And we're gonna, what was it we're gonna do? Site URL. Okay. Should I just reeval this function then? Is that part of the problem? Maybe Control C, Control B, just for giggles. All right, cool. So it didn't reeval correctly. So received SSO to verify. Now let's go to step 2 of the process. At least we're making progress. All right, right over here. So get response from discourse. Compute the HMAC of SSO using SSO provider's secret Azure key. Convert SIG from its hex string representation back to bytes. And this, for SIG, it's talking about the SIG that it sends back, because it also is sending a SIG back. So it has a SIG. It has an SSO and a SIG of its own. So in this part of the code, now we have to start decoding everything. So define decode login response query string, I guess. Now this is a query string in web request. Guile web request. Query. No. Sorry. No, it's the URI. The URI library. Right here. Query. So query. I think is the full query strings. They don't do anything to help you to read that. Yeah, for query strings, split the query. Percent decode the given string, which should be the name of the character. No, this function should not generally be applied to a full URI string. For paths, use split and decode URI path instead. For query strings, split the query on ampersand and equal boundaries. I think I've got something for that, though. Don't I have something in WebFrame? Parse query string. Okay, so inside of WebFrame, I have parse query string. Publix. Oh, man. What a day. Okay, so parse query string. So in here, let params parse query string, and that's going to be an A list. So I should probably make this a let star or a match. Can I do an A list destructuring? Maybe not. Let's just let's keep it simple. So SSO is a soak ref. Params SSO, and then sig. Okay, so that's that procedure. Invalid variable params. What do you mean? It's right there. Ah, let star. No wonder. Okay, we're good, right? Okay. Now, when the request comes back, we're going to decode login response. So I'm going to change those to be SSO. Undo that one. Next. Yes, yes, okay. And that's going to be... query params. I already have... URI query params. What did I do? What is URI query params? I think I made that. Is it already? Okay. I see what I did. So query params is already turned into an A list. That's fine. Guess it wasn't necessary. Let's leave it. URI query. I'm getting the URI back. There we go. So you request URI request. There we go. Okay. We'll take that out. SSO to verify. I know this is a little bit ugly. I don't really care. Let's just do this for now. Whew. If SSO to verify, so apparently I had gated this on that. Guess I don't have a choice, do I? All right, so let's just stop screwing around for a second. How much time we got left? A little bit. A little bit of time left. So let's see what we need to do. Compute the HMAC of SSO using the provider secret. Convert SIG from its hex string rep back into bytes. Sure. Make sure the above two values are equal. So I'm basically recomputing the signature myself using my key and comparing against the one that they sent. Okay, that's important. So we have encode SSO request. We have decode SSO response. We'll say query params. We could just do this. SSO. Fuck it. SSO secret. Trying to reduce duplication here, but maybe I should just stop fighting it. Delete that. Then this needs to be query params. Okay. So verify key by signing again. So we might need to factor this part out. And I don't really see why I need to decode the hex for the signature. Convert SIG from its hex string representation back into bytes, and then compare the signature that I come up with. Why don't I just compare the hex strings? I already have that. So assign payload, payload SSO secret. So do I need, yeah, okay. So SIG, I might have to base 64 decode it, right? Sign payload. Okay, so that's signing it here in this case. Excuse me. All right, so here, we're going to base 64 decode that, the SSO value, and sign it. And then we're going to check to see if they're equal or not. So I can just, let's see, string. Okay. Sign payload. All right, let's just reeval this whole module. Okay, we got an unmatched bracket. Is it here? No. Is it here? Yes. Decode SSO response. We need to have the SSO secret. Also, this needs to be query params. Wrong number of arguments to sign payload. SSO secret. Okay. All right, now let's try this out and see if it works. I'm going to go back and try to do the login flow again. Where are we? Right here. Okay. Something crashed. So wrong type argument, position 1, expecting string. Let's see, where were we? It's the code SSO response. So sign payload, string to UTF-8. So it's already a byte vector. What? Guile, GNU TLS, base 64 decode. Where is this coming from? Returns a byte vector. Wait a second. What is all this? No, this is not the right library, but it's funny that it shows up like this because I'm seeing the same kind of result. By trying to decode it, it appears that it's returning a byte vector instead of returning a string. So string, where was it? String to UTF-8, base 64 payload, sign payload. Yeah, sign payload. In the call to sign payload, I'm giving it a byte vector. And that's happening right here. So UTF-8 is a string. Try that. It is. Okay, so there we go. Signatures do not match. Guess I should print them, huh? Okay, they are slightly different. Slightly. They're different. Okay, so instead of doing what I just did, can I just give it to SSO directly? Excuse me. We'll see. I don't know. That seems a little bit risky, but why not? Do not match. Yeah. Doesn't surprise me. So, what is the code that we got back? SSO code. Just trying to see if at the very end if it has any padding that's oh, I probably should URL decode that, shouldn't I? Maybe that's the stupid thing I'm doing. I need to URL decode it. URI decode. My mistake. Okay. Signatures match. Okay, great. So that's a good starting point. Now that they match, base64 decode SSO, you'll get the past embedded query string. This will have a key called nonce, which value should match the nonce passed originally. Make sure that this is the case and be sure to delete the nonce from your system. The query string will also contain a bunch of user information. Use it as you see fit. So there we go. Let me, if I can at least get the username out of there, that'd be pretty useful, right? So once we've decoded it, then we'll do the same thing. We're going to do the UTF-8 string. And we're also going to rip out the query params. So we're going to do a let star on that. Okay, I think I do need to make this public. Parse query string. That's going to be decoded SSO. And then after that, wait, hold on. I got too many parentheses. Then after that, we can pull out, well, pretty much anything else, but I can just print out the params for now. Unknown location source expression failed to match. I must have screwed up something. Get out of here. Ah, yes. Get rid of that. Okay. Now we'll do this again. Something crashed. Decoding error. I probably should store the URI decoded version. Drop this down a little bit. Clearer. All right, now what we got? Admin true, avatar URL, email, trust level. So yeah, it's all the sort of user information that you would want to see. My name, nonce value, username. Cool. So I can get the username out. Does it have favorite monster flavor? No. Once again, it didn't reevaluate everything, so I didn't get the output that I was looking for. Why are you writing everything out? I just changed that. Unbalanced parentheses, of course. Sure. My mistake. Forgive me for being a human being. All right, logged in user David Will. Cool. So that's all the time we have for the day. But I'm glad that we did get it working. Let me try to check in some stuff here and there. I probably should like delete some keys and rotate some stuff, log in, out, log out, change the secret, because a lot of stuff has been kind of put on the screen in this stream. Got to be a little careful about that kind of thing. Let me actually, I'll do that in a second. So what did we learn today? You have to be very, very careful the order that you do things, especially when the documentation is not very clear about which order you're supposed to do things. The biggest part of the problem that we faced was that the payload that we're supposed to sign, you're only supposed to sign the base 64 version of it and not the URI encoded version of it. Thank you to Trev for tracking that down. So now that this works, what does it mean? Well, what it really means is that we know who the user is with their forum account. Which means that for the purposes of the System Corrector's website, we can identify them uniquely by their username and then attach things in the System Corrector's website to their forum account. Because I've been using their forum account as the way that they log in, and what groups they're a part of dictate which like courses or other things they have access to, like if they're a guild member. So that sort of gives us everything we need. I mean, there's also the group information as well. I could probably just pull that out. We may have seen it earlier in the lists. Yeah, so like the... where is it? Groups. Yeah, so groups apparently is a... it's encoded somehow. It must be URL encoded. Probably should URL decode this before I parse it. Shouldn't I? Decoded SSO. So let's do that. We're going to URI decode that. Let's just get it back here. Just want to see the output in a readable way for RAMs. Do it one more time. There it is. Okay, so now we have a comma delimited list of groups that I'm a part of, etc. So that's really the important thing, right? Is that we know what the username is, we know what groups they're a part of, and that gives us the ability to do everything else we need to do. So I think we're good on the logging in aspect. We still need to wire everything up so that you can see that you're logged in on the website, and they'd be able to attach things in the back end to what groups you're a member of, but that's all just sort of like, you know, details from here on. So I'm happy that this now works. Now we can move forward with actually, you know, building behavior for the new System Corrector site. I don't know how much people want to see this continue on the streams, or if we want to go back to Emacs packages development, emacsPackages.com development. I mean, obviously we should probably get back to that. I just kind of wanted to take a little brief interlude on this because it was interesting. And I also wanted to make some progress on it too, because I need to do that. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments or in the IRC or whatever before Wednesday, and we'll decide what we do next time. But at least we did make some progress today, getting this working again. That's kind of a big deal, having this sort of single sign-on thing working in Scheme at least. So cool. Thanks everybody for being here today. Especially appreciate the folks who were helping out in the chat. Trev, Purple G, DC Unit 3D. Appreciate all of you. Yes, it's always fun to collectively bang our heads and then eventually come to a solution. You know, it's sort of like pair programming, mob programming in the best way. I guess I'll see you all again here on Wednesday for the next round of Crafter Hours. Until then, happy hacking. See ya.